What is up, everyone? Today we'll be taking a look at the new dragon fighting type Kommo-o in the Great League. Thank you to my buddy the Nut93 or Felix for sending me these battles. He's one of the best battlers in the world, so I'm really excited to see what he can do with this thing. Of course, Kommo-o has an incredibly big weakness to Fairy. It's double weak against Charm, can really only survive 3 of them. Besides that, also doesn't do great against flying typings. That's why Felix is running it with Registeel in the lead, because that just covers really nicely for those Fairy and flying typings. Then he's also running Sableye as a safe switch or sacrificial switch in the back. If he doesn't lead into a Fairy or flying typing, you usually switch into the Sableye to lure it out. And once Sableye is lured out, sometimes it can even, burn some shields there, because Sableye is just insane. But once the Fairy is lured out, Sableye or Registeel can take care of it. And once the Fairy is gone, maybe a shield is down, Kommo-o just goes to town. It has close combat as just a really nice nuke move when shields are down. And those Dragon Tails and Dragon Claws can really add up as well in this first game. Luckily though, Felix has a good lead with the Azumarill. I did switch out eventually though, so it's still on the field with a bit of a turn on the Sableye. And the Registeel still kind of healthy in the back. Should be able to take care of it. Sableye goes for the return here. This will do a really nice chunk to the Azu. And then comes a Sableye here. This is where Kommo-o is also pretty good. It comes out right now. First off, look at that animation. That's pretty cool. This is a very interesting looking Pokemon. But yeah, it takes resisted damage from these foul plays. But it is quite squishy, so they do quite a bit. But it can take him quite nicely, and it's gonna fire off these Dragon Claws right now, which should kill the Sableye at this point. First Dragon Claw coming out. I don't expect to see a shield here. Opponent's gonna put it all on Azumarill. A close combat from Kommo-o at this point will do quite a lot of damage, so honestly, maybe this Azumarill has to shield here. It does not. In comes the Registeel. Can he lock on it down? Gonna have to use a shield here, right? He does use a shield. Does shield up correctly. It is a pump. And he locks on down the Azumarill right before he gets to another move. Let's go. Next game, Registeel Lead versus Sableye. This is not a great lead because the lock-ons are doing like 0 damage. These foul plays are coming in really, really quickly. And if the Sableye just shields up these zap cannons, it's gonna win out this matchup and have so much health remaining, which is actually kind of problematic for the back line. So Felix decides to switch out into Sable here. Of course, he didn't see a Fairy yet, so he has to save the Registeel just in case. In comes a Bastion from the opponent though. This is not awesome because, well, this is why you want to see Kommo-o, of course, because you can close combat this thing, but instead you have Sableye on it now. Not what you want to see, but still Sableye does pretty decent here. Look at these foul plays adding up. He's going to throw another one right now. I think if he shields up a Stone Edge here, he might even be able to farm it down at that point. Stone Edge does come through, does decide to shield it up, knows that if he farms this down, he's still gonna be able to throw another foul play into whatever comes in. It's likely gonna do a lot of damage. Actually, that's not true. It's an Azumarill. It can't throw the foul play. I'm actually surprised the opponent didn't come on with Azumarill earlier, because it's a little bit of a more solid answer to Sableye than Bastion, I feel like, because Sableye actually has to kind of bait there. But anyway, this is okay. I think the Registeel can still barely take a Hydro at this point, so he's gonna no-shield it. Oh man, that basically knocked out though. It's now Kommo-o versus a Sableye and an Azu. This is actually not looking great. He can no-shield this move though. It's just a foul play. Again, that's resisted damage, and it doesn't do that much. Gonna have to shield up the next though. And he will have to throw a Dragon Claw into the Sableye, I think. Actually, no. He's gonna farm it all the way down. End up with 2 close combats to throw into the Azu. One goes out right here. Oh man. I think we saw earlier though, this doesn't knock out. But it's gonna be very, very close. Another close combat coming through. He still has Registeel in the back as well, but doesn't have a move. But it could potentially lock on down. Doesn't kill. 1 HP on the Azu. Can he lock on down? Oh my god. He barely locks on down the Azu. Well played, GG. Medicham Lead is not what you wanna see. Both Registeel and Kommo-o lose versus Medicham, so this is not great. Usually it's not too bad because Medicham runs Ice Punch Psychic, can't really hit him with a charge moves, but this Medicham is running the Power Punch, so Felix opts to get out of there right away. Doesn't want any of that boosted counter damage. Switches into his hard counter Sableye. Luckily though, the opponent doesn't really have an amazing Sableye answer in the back. Brings in Galarian Stunfisk, which is honestly not too bad for Sableye. Usually does lose out on this matchup, but I think the Sableye will be able to at least generate a shield advantage here, which will be quite nice, because Kommo-o with a shield advantage in the back should be quite decent against that Medicham as well. Another Rock Slide coming through from the Stunfisk. Can the Sableye reach another foul play before the move from Stunfisk? It can. This should knock out or get a shield. It does knock out. It's pretty good. Now a switch advantage back. Can bring in the Kommo-o versus the Medicham. We've already seen the pup. Usually that means it doesn't have Ice Punch. So, but it could have Psychic, which Felix does predict right here. It does shield it up. Unfortunately, just the Power Punch did get baited. That's not great. But look at these Dragon Tails really adding up. This Dragon Claw would almost knock out the Medi, so it is gonna warrant a shield. Just like this move from the Medi will, I assume. It is just another pup, unfortunately though. Does get baited. But that's fine. He's gonna be able to get over another Dragon Claw here and take out the Medicham at this point. This point though, it's really gonna depend on what's in the back. It is a Registeel from the opponent. Felix knows that one Focus Blast isn't gonna knock out, but one Focus Blast from the opponent will. So he's gonna Zap Cannon the opposing Registeel to lower the attack. This will allow his Registeel to survive, maybe? I don't know. This is gonna get very close. Does survive though, and will be able to get to another Focus Blast since his attack isn't debuffed and this thing is already in yellow. This should knock out the opposing Registeel, and it is really well played by Felix right there. Oh no, another horrible lead with Swampert into Registeel. Has to switch to Sableye here, but the problem is Swampert charged these moves so quickly. He can just throw a foul play before being in any danger of being hit by a charge move from a Sable. And now it can safely switch into the Skarm. This is good though. Luring out the Skarm is amazing. It's an amazing situations because a Kommo-o can avoid the Skarmory now. But it's still gonna be very tough because that Kommo-o is probably gonna have to deal with the Swampert and whatever's in the back. So not great though. Did put the Skarmory into a range where this Registeel can fully farm down with lock-ons and maybe end with a Focus Blast stored for the Swampert. Not quite actually, but he is very, very close. So I assume he's gonna throw a Focus Blast into the Swampert, take a shield, and then dip into Kommo-o. And again, we have Kommo-o with a shield advantage, which usually is pretty good, depending on what's in the back. Swampert will throw a move here. Man, even if it's a Hydro, it's gonna do so much. Gotta shield it. Kommo-o is so squishy. In comes Registeel. And this is what you love to see. Gonna have to shield up this move, though. If it's a Focus Blast, that's really gonna hurt. It is a Focus Blast. Luckily, no Zap Cannon would actually be quite devastating. Gonna bait with the Dragon Claw here. Interesting. Risky move, but pays off. Opposing Registeel shields. Gonna farm up even more. Throws right before the opposing Focus Blast. Really counting those lock-ons perfectly. Very close to another Dragon Claw now. Gonna be able to fire it off before the Swampert gets to a Hydro Cannon. And it's some amazing energy management by Felix here. Able to take the win against a horrible lead. Deoxys Defense Lead. Not a great lead. Because Registeel is taking super effective from his counters, of course. But because Registeel is such a tank, the counters are not stab. And at best, Deoxys can hit with Thunderbolt. It's actually a pretty even matchup. He is gonna have to save the Registeel, though, I feel like. Because Deoxys does come with a Fairy often. So let's see how he plays it out. Yeah, he does switch to Sableye, as I was expecting. Out comes a Wigglytuff, though, which is probably the worst Fairy you can see. If this was like an Alolan Ninetales, this return would put it incredibly low. And because the Shadow Claws would actually add it up. But because of the normal typing Wigglytuff, it still has so much health. You cannot lock on this down with Registeel. Actually, this Registeel is already so low. Yeah, he's gonna have to shield this play rough. That is pretty awkward. And I think if he throws the Focus Blast right here... Oh no, he's gonna get to... Well, actually, if the Wigglytuff shields this, he might be able to charm down. It's gonna be very close. Wigglytuff doesn't decide to shield though. Yeah, probably gonna bring out the Deoxys at this point. Brings out the Kommo-o. In comes Sableye. As we've seen before, Sableye versus Kommo-o is pretty decent for Kommo-o because those foul plays really don't do that much. Shadow Claws definitely adding up though. And with two shields, On the opposing side, this is not looking great. It's gonna have to let this one go because the Deoxys is already close to a move as well, which a Psycho Boost would do way more than a Foul Play, so you cannot afford to shield at that point. Just gonna try to get rid of the Sableye, but yeah, at this health, the Deoxys is just too much to handle. Oh man, makes it so close though. Can he somehow lock on down? He cannot. That is the first loss. GG. Galarian, Stunfisk lead. Another very awkward lead. Actually decides to switch to Stunfisk right away. Lures out the Azu. This is exactly as planned. Sableye actually has a decent matchup here. You can either take Switch, or usually what happens is you take Shield Advantage here. Which either one is a really good scenario for Felix at this point. Because Kommo-o Shield Advantage is really good. Usually with Galarian Stunfisk in the lead, you can expect something like a Trevenant or a Venusaur in the back. And against both of them, Kommo-o does pretty decent, especially with shields. Ice Beam comes out onto the Reggie. No Hydro on this Azu. I think in these days, you definitely need a Hydro on these Azus though, just because of all the Registeel. This Stunfisk didn't get that much farm, but I think it did get enough to get to the Earthquake right here. Actually, it doesn't. Felix is gonna be able to get to the Focus Blast here before the Stunfisk gets to the Earthquake. Gets quite huge. It's gonna shoot up this Earthquake, though, or potential bait. No, it is the Earthquake. Gonna switch to Kommo-o at this point. Both shields are down, and this is looking quite good for Kommo-o at this point. Unless it's like another fairy in the back, that'd be quite awkward. Unfortunately, ends up shooting a bait here. It's a Sableye in the back, also pretty common with Stunfisk, but like I said, as you've seen before, this is a pretty decent matchup for Kommo-o. As long as the Sableye cannot get to the return. It's going to throw another Dragon Claw pretty soon here, though. Doesn't want to get hit by a charge move. This will force the Stunfisk to throw an Earthquake into the Kommo-o, which I don't think it will actually reach. Oh, actually, this might be it. But if this is an Earthquake, I think the Registeel is going to outpace the Stunfisk to the move, because the Stunfisk should be energy dry at this point. Registeel does outpace. Oh my god, is that a CMP tie on the Earthquake? Oh man. Oh, that's a close game. That is a one lock-on difference, darn. Registeel versus Azumarill. This is where you love to see it. In comes Galarian Stunfisk. With energy, Galarian Stunfisk is quite a problem for all three of his Pokemon, to be honest. So it's just going to stay in for a little bit, throw the focus, get a shield down, and bring in Sable here. It's a very interesting switch in my opinion. I feel like Kommo-o might be a better switch because you can just double close combat, but then again you're also gonna get one shot by an Earthquake. So I think he probably knows what he's doing here. Two foul plays still, knock out the Stunfisk. So this is not too bad of a scenario. Actually, it is. This is a really bad scenario. Especially since he didn't get that Shadow Claw through. This Stunfisk will outpace to 2 Rock Slides before he can get to 2 Foul Plays. So he's gonna have to hope and pray the Stunfisk lets this move go, actually. If he doesn't... Oh, wow. Alright, that is really nice. That is really, really nice. Because if that Stunfisk shielded that, the Kommo-o would have been aligned to the Azu. And that would have been a huge issue. A huge issue. Oh man, it's Registeel in the back. Brings in the Kommo-o. This is not great because since Registeel has a little bit of energy lead, it will outpace to 2 moves. I think normally you get there at the same time. Well, two close combats. This means the Kommo-o will have to bait, because if it doesn't, it will get outpaced. Oh, does get the bait. Will get... Doesn't get to the club. Oh my god. I thought it was barely gonna get there. Oh, it's running Flash Cannon. Dude, that makes no sense. Wait, it's running Flash Cannon? Alright. Alright, that makes sense then. If he was actually not running Flash Cannon, the Kommo-o would have gotten to the close combat. Alright. Interesting, interesting. What moveset is his Azu running then? Also no Hydro. Alright, this is... Is this... Are we still in 2021? Hello? In 2022, you're supposed to run Hydro on Azu and Z-Cannon on Registeel, everyone. His opponent didn't get the memo, though. Luckily, he didn't, because if this Azu had Hydro, it might have been a little issue for this Registeel. But because it doesn't, able to lock on down Good game. Oh my, it's another Swampert Lead. Not great. Opsu switch into the Sable immediately. Opponent does exactly the same thing as the previous Swampert Lead. Throws the Hydro. This time he decides to shield actually. Versus the previous Shadow Swampert Lead, Felix actually opted to no shield the Hydro. This time we see a shield come through actually, which is quite interesting change of play. In comes another Hydro from the Swampert. This time we're not seeing a switch out. That is very interesting. Maybe the Swampert just wants to chip before dipping into the Talonflame. Ooh, Talonflame actually a rough Pokemon for this lineup. Both Registeel and Sable don't do great. Kommo-o though does pretty good. Just doesn't want to get hit by a Brave Bird. Luckily is able to get to another foul play. Is gonna get a shield. Will have to shield up, put a shield up of his own here though, because a Brave Bird would definitely one-shot. So opponent realizes and actually goes for the Flame Charge, which I think is a bit of a misplay. Like there's no reason to. You're not gonna get to another move, and this just gives more farm to the Kommo-o. So honestly, this was really nice outcome for Felix here. Gets some extra Dragon Tails through, which might help him in the end game here. It will help him in the end game here because a Walrein comes out. He's gonna be able to close combat this thing back to where it belongs. Goodbye. Wow, and being able to Drain Claw this Swampert straight afterwards. What a freaking sweep. Kommo-o really putting in the work when shields are down. You love to see it. Alright. Ooh, another Medicham Lead. Can he wiggle his way out of this once again? Dude, Felix just changes his play every single time. It doesn't make sense. Last time he saw a Medicham, he waited until the Medicham threw a Power Punch and then switched. This time it's an instant switch into Sableye. I think this just shows you, you know, there's so many different ways to play out matchups, and you know, you just gotta do what you feel most comfortable with. I think. Gonna shield up the Stone Edge here because this Sable I think should be able to get to 2 more foul plays before the Basti can get to another Stone Edge, which will either give switch advantage or shield advantage to Felix here. Yeah, we'll be able to get to another foul play. This should kill or get another shield. Honestly, I think you prefer the shield at this point, but unfortunately the opponent will let it go. In comes the Sableye. This is quite awkward. Luckily though, he's able to get in a couple moves. Oh man, switches into the Medicham immediately. This is actually kind of nice, because he can Zap Cannon the Medicham at this point and then switch into Kommo-o. Not before taking a charge move though. This is really smart. He can take the charge move or Registeel easily. Doesn't have to use a shield. Comes in with Kommo-o at this point. This cannot be a Psychic, right? It is a Psychic. Never mind. I wasn't counting properly. Alright, shields are down now. That is not great. Opponent though doesn't realize Kommo-o's typing. It is a fighting type, which means Dark is resisted. You need to go for the return there, good sir. But that's, again, that is just the upside of running a new Pokemon that quickly. People just don't know how to deal with it. I think if he had thrown the return there, this would have been pretty over. Though, the Registeel maybe would have gone to the Zap Cannon. I don't know. I don't think so, actually. But you know what? We take those. GG. That was the final battle. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Again, thank you so much to Felix, Nut93, for sending me these battles. These are some really good battles. So thank you. Thank you a lot. Kommo-o, absolute monster. I'm definitely gonna try to do some trades for a good PvP IV1 because I need this thing in my life. Anyway, thank you all for watching. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.